Hello friends, welcome to another session of Emotional Café. Today our topic is Rising from the Ashes. I believe we all have heard the legend of the phoenix bird which burned down to ashes, and even though it's usually illustrated for religious purposes, I believe it's an amazing story for us to relate to it and learn something from a different perspective. What happened with the bird is that it got burned to the ashes, and when everybody that was looking thought it was done, dead, gone, just pure dust, the bird came alive, coming from the ashes, rising in front of everybody in a more colorful feathers, bright and stronger than ever. And that's what I want to be able to talk to you about today. Sometimes we have setbacks in life, sometimes we have tragedies, we have adversities, and this is something that is part of life and we cannot stop it from happening. We wish we wouldn't have to go through it, but the reality is that at some point or another we all experience pain, and in probably the worst way we could possibly imagine for ourselves. But the important thing is not to let these setbacks or tragedies or circumstances or adversities define us. There's a time to dwell on the pain, there's a time to cry, there's a time to feel that sorrow deep down inside. But there's a moment when we need to define if we're going to stay down or if, like the phoenix bird, we are going to rise from the ashes. It is a decision that we need to make. It is a decision, and sometimes we think that people that have the ability to do that are people that were born like that. Let me tell you this, there's two groups of people. There's some people that are always finding an excuse, they always find any setback, any obstacle, any challenge, they use it as a reason not to go on. They use it as a reason to give up, they use it as a reason to forget about their dreams, to let go of their plans, and simply whine, complain, and blame everyone and everything for the things that they couldn't accomplish. There's another group of people that regardless what they have to face, regardless the pain, regardless the tragedies, regardless how things are painful for them, somehow they rise, they get up. I'm not going to say that they probably do it jumping up and down, feeling so joyful, but they get up, they put one foot in front of the other, and they move on. They keep going. They redefine their action plan. They redefine their goals. They redefine their dreams, but they're always pursuing something. They're always on a mission, and they don't give up. Which of those group of people do you think you belong to? And let me tell you this, sometimes we've been in both. I have found myself in the group of people that have stayed down, dwelling under pain. I remember a time in my life when I was actually so bitter and so sad, and I was not coping well with the losses I've had. Why? Because I didn't want to accept that that was what I had to do. And instead of moving on, it took me a long time of grieving and blaming and having anger inside of me until I finally realized that that's not where I wanted to be. Then I moved to the other group of people, to the people that regardless how they felt about what was happening, will rise, will put their best attitude, their best effort, and will move forward. And let me tell you this, that's when my life started changing. That's when I have been able to experience life at its fullest, because I decided to make a choice not to stay down. I decided to rise from my ashes. I decided that regardless all those things that I couldn't understand and all those things that were affecting me and causing me pain, there was still joy ahead of me. There was still a life ahead of me. There were still plans. There were still dreams. I had to give up on some dreams, but I was always having the opportunity to have new ones if I wanted to. But it took my decision. I had to make a choice. So which group do you want to belong to? Don't get me wrong. I understand how it feels, and I understand, as I was saying, that there will be a time for you to go through the grieving process. But once we understand that this is not what defined us, Once we understand that this is not the end of our life, even though at the moment we may feel like it is, then we will be ready to get up from the floor where we are at and look ahead and start putting one foot in front of the other. I remember this phrase that I learned that says, always evaluate the things that you're doing in terms of how they are pushing you towards the goal that you want to accomplish or how they're pulling you away from it. When you look at your life right now, what do you see? Are you actually doing what it takes for you to be able to accomplish that dream that you have in your mind, in your heart, that you want to be able to have and accomplish? Are you really getting towards your goals, or are you being pulled away? Because let me tell you this, my friend, it's up to you what you do next. We all have the opportunity to redefine our lives any moment. When something is not working, it is your responsibility, not someone else, but yours, to stop and think about it and look at your situation and say, what can I change? What can I do? Is this what I want? Is this what is making me happy? Is this where I really want to be at? Because that's entirely your choice. And you are the only person responsible to make changes, to make adjustments. Rise from your ashes. Don't let your circumstances define you anymore. If it has happened, if that's how you've handled things before, if that's what you've been going through, it doesn't have to be your life anymore. It doesn't have to be like that anymore. Just rise from your ashes, get up from where you're at, and don't stay down. Start looking up. There's another phrase that says, while there's life, there's hope. Well, we always need to have hope. There's always something better. We have to believe this in order to keep moving forward. Because again, life can be very beautiful, but at the same time, we're hit by tragedies and adversities and setbacks. And it's up to us the kind of attitude that we're going to have to face those. Don't let those define your life. You need to decide what kind of life you want to have. Make sure that you rise from your ashes and you don't stay down, because that's what's going to make a difference in your life like it did in mine. Thank you so much for joining me in another session of Emotional Cafe. I'll see you next week.